Euroflight.
Hello everyone, welcome along to the stream. As you can probably see from the title, we are doing a flight request today, the first flight request, but I'll explain a bit more about that in a second. I just need to start the chat up because I forgot to do that before we began, so we will get that going. And then I'll explain a little bit about what we're doing as soon as I just check that all the audio is working. But yeah, we are doing flight requests around Turkey. Right, have we got the chat up now? I think we have. Oh no, it's not responding, although hopefully it will be soon. There we go, I think we're up now. Right, let me just go and test the chat, make sure it's working, and then we'll get going.
Miguel Orduno, this is a test.
Oh, there's Miguel already testing it for me. See, I don't even have to do it, that's how great this stream is. And yeah, I'm guessing the audio is working. Let me just check that, but yeah. Oh, come on, you goddamn Touch ID. Touch ID is rubbish. No, it's not. It's great, but it's annoying when it doesn't work. Yep, so that is all working with the audio. We're doing great with that, so we can pretty much get started. The chat's up and running, as you can hear. So what we are...
Miguel Orduno, I can hear you.
You can hear me, great. Okay, yeah, everything's working, I'm sure. Yes, so what we are doing is, as you may have seen, I started a flight request form in the week for people to do flight requests on, and there's a... I'll tell you what, you just shut that woman up. Yes, so there is a video that I did with the link to that if you haven't already yet seen it, but we are going to start doing them, and the reason we're doing this particular one is because it was the first one on the list. We're going to do first come first served. So we're going to do one that Borak requested. Borak's a friend of the stream. He's been a loyal viewer for a long time, and he was the first one to do a flight request, so of course we're doing that flight request first as it's listed. And it is Istanbul Ataturk to Antalya in Turkey in a 747. It's a pretty short flight, but we're going to have some fun and do it in the 747, and then I thought to make it a bit more interesting we'd come back to Istanbul Ataturk as well. And I think there was someone else who requested a flight in Turkey out of Istanbul to somewhere else in the flight requests. So I will have a look, and if we have time we may do that just because we will be at Istanbul. But we're down on the ground at Istanbul in the sim. The weather is looking pretty good, clear. We've got 6 kilometers per hour. There's no clouds around. So we're pretty much good to go, and we can start getting set up for the flight. So let me get rid of NVDA. And let's get the computer on. Great, so what we need to do is go into the menu, and we're going to go to Asia here, and we're going to go to Turkey. No, there we go. And we're going to go down in here to where is it? And yeah, there we go, Antalya there. It's 484 kilometers, and how long is it going to take us? 29 minutes. A bit optimistic. I think it's probably going to be more like about 40 minutes by the time we actually complete the whole flight with everything, but we'll see. So that's obviously going to be our airport that we're heading to, and so we need to sort out fuel first things first, because we've only got 380 in there. So let's do what I usually do. We'll add 1,000 and then see where that gets us. Okay, so we're just going to add a little bit more. I'd say we're going to add another 2,500 just to be safe. Oh, we always want reserve fuel, of course. Yeah, so apologies for people who've done flight requests. I can't do them all in one go, of course, but we will get to them. We will get to them in time. So yeah, that's way more fuel than we need. We can yeah, but we'll be fine. It was, like I say, always good to have reserve fuel. Let's whack the radios and transponder on. So we're going 116.8. And let's do a few more things. So seatbelts can go on. And let's just get a gate. So we're going to gate 1. Fine. Engines. Let's get these things on. Start whacking a few things on. In fact, actually, we don't need all that on, because of course we're going to be turning it off soon anyway when we get to the gate. So let's just quickly taxi across to our gate and get our people on board. See how many are going to be taking the trip along with us to Antalya, which we've never visited before in the sim. And don't forget, if anyone misses their flight request because they can't be around, don't worry, it will be archived on the channel, so you can always come back and watch it. It's always nice, of course, if people can be on the stream when their flight request is, but you know, just for ease, it's on the channel. Right, there's our gate. So we're going to do that. Let's switch the ventilation off again and go engines off, so that those passengers don't get knocked over by jet blast as they get on. Doors open, and you can start getting on, people. Let's see how many we're going to get. I don't know if a 747 actually operates this flight in real life. I doubt it, because it's such a short flight. But you know, like I say, we're going to have some fun, and it was requested in the 747, so that's what we're doing today. Right. I reckon they're all pretty much on now. Yep, so we've got 310 people joining us for the flight. Let's shut the doors on them. Let's get the safety information going. Shut the cockpit door so we don't have to deal with that. Let me just check our current takeoff speed, which is going to be 267 kilometers per hour. Of course, a bit of a bigger plane, but we'll be fine. Right, so I'm just going to get the engines going back again. 1, 2, and it really should be 3 and 4, but of course we're on Eurofly 2. Don't worry. I haven't told you anything, but multiple engines for different aircraft may be coming in version 3. Right, let's start getting these on.
TCAS on. Status monitor on.
Right, let's get the flaps going out before I forget those, and let's set our takeoff nose angle here. Now, some people think I might be cheating because I don't do it manually, but the reason I do this is it's because this is what they do in real life. So they'll set the trim for takeoff. So we're going to go 500, and because we're pretty well, we're not heavy, but we're a little bit heavy. We're a heavy aircraft, so we'll go for about, I don't know, 13 degrees there. It's fine, and we need to go to runway 1. So let's turn the plane right around there, and I'll open the cockpit door again so we can hear some more information.
If necessary, blow air into the rubber tube. If you use an emergency window exit, inflate your life jacket only outside the aircraft. For further information, please check the safety instruction card located in the seat pocket in front of you. Thank you for your attention. Have a nice flight.
Right, that's done with that, so we're going to shut the cockpit door. Let's whack on the auto nav as well so that I don't forget, because I will. And we're getting a bit of speed up here as we head towards the exit. Let's make sure we're not too fast to get through.
West 27 16.
That's not supposed to happen, thank you. There we go. Right, so we're turning back onto the main taxiway, and he wanted runway 1, so let's get moving. And then we'll pretty much be ready to go.
Welcome aboard a Eurofly aircraft. We will be taking off in a few minutes. Please.
Interestingly enough, on the flight request there was way more Eurofly than FSX. I think we had about 8 or 9 Eurofly ones and about 3 FSX ones. We've had a good response. We've got a lot of flight requests to get through, which is great. But yeah, as I say, more Eurofly than FSX. But I promised that I would stick to exactly what people wanted on these requests. So, you know, whatever people asked for. As I say, like usually I wouldn't do this in a 7.4, but you know what? It was on the request, and it's hella fun to do it in a 7.4, so we're going to do it. Right. Can't wait to hear these engines spool up. This is going to be fun. 123.4, and we're squawking 7196. Right, are you going to give us takeoff clearance? We are. Let's go. Enjoy these sounds. Right, we're spooled up and we're heading down the runway. Quite a long takeoff roll, of course. And we're airborne. Let's get the flaps and gear going up. Of course, we've got that gear sound. Gear is up.
Successful.
And we're successful. Let's get that speed increasing to 250 knots.
Off. 590.
Right, so we're at 250 knots at 500 meters. So let's get ready to program in whatever altitude they give us for our cruise. And up we go, going at 11,000 meters for the cruise as per usual.
During the flight, our staff will be regularly walking through the
Right, let's open the cockpit door so we can get a bit of passenger sounds, although this aircraft is quite loud with its 4 noisy engines, so we'll see how much we actually hear of that.
Burak Yuksek, hello. Murky J Waters, yo what up my guy. Burak Yuksek, how are you doing?
Hi both of you, hello along and welcome along to the stream. We're doing very good and we're actually doing your flight request, Burak. We've just departed out of Istanbul Ataturk and we're heading to Antalya and then we're going to head back into Istanbul Ataturk.
Miguel Orduno, I'm somewhat good at Eurofly.
Yeah, it takes a bit of getting used to. All flight sims do. Aviation is something you have to learn. Eurofly is of course a simplified version, but you still have to learn. Yeah, we're in the 74. Burak just departed out of Istanbul Ataturk. Right, let's get this thing up to cruise power, shall we? Yeah, still on clear, temperature 26 for the weather. Right, we're not going to aim to cruise too fast for this flight, just because it's not such a long flight at all, so. I want to see what this thing sounds like at full power first.
Burak Yuksek, yay.
Yeah. Yeah, there we go. At full power, nearly 1,000 kilometers an hour. You won't see that in many other aircraft. Anyway, better bring those engines back a little bit. So loud, I'm going to turn these engines down in a sec a little.
Ugur Kayar, hi, you tweeted yesterday about new things in Eurofly 3.0.
Right, let me just turn these engines down a little bit because they are blasting in my ears. And I love the sound of them, but we just need to turn them down a little bit. Right, let me do this new frequency. 129.7, it goes in there, and yeah, let me just continue turning these down. There we go. It's quite a nice balance there. Right, let's slow this thing down even more because it wants to go hell for leather going here towards Antalya, which is fine. But we want to enjoy this flight a little bit. Right, that will do. We are climbing nicely, rocketing up, obviously, in the 74. Yes,
Burak Yuksek, is NVDA still going to say blank when control? That's what I wonder.
Is it still gonna... Oh, right. Honestly, Burak, I don't know. I did tweet yesterday about new things for Eurofly, yes.
Eurofly.
Yeah, I can't say too much at the minute. All I can say is I'm doing my best and working with Stefan towards Eurofly 3, but he wasn't best impressed with the reaction to the beta version last time, with everyone complaining and moaning on the list. So I wouldn't hold out much hope that there's going to be a beta version for people to test. Not at least mainstream. I think it's going to be people who are working on it only until it's ready for release. But there are good things coming. I don't know about your thing, Borat, because I haven't actually got a version to test. so that I will tell you when I get a version to test. But there are new things coming, and they are good. Yeah, so like I was saying with these flight requests, if people weren't here at the start, I'm doing them in order. So Burak was the first person to get his in. It was the first response on the list, so that's why we're doing his request, and then we'll try and do them in order. There was someone else, I think, who requested a flight out of Istanbul. So when we get back to Istanbul after going to Antalya, if we still have some time, I may look at their flight and go and do that. But we will see. It all depends on time.
Burak Yuksek, ask him that at least. Laughing face.
Yeah, I'll ask him. I think it's something to do with I don't know exactly what it is, but say like it doesn't do it on mine when I press control. It's something to do with people's individual systems, and I have no idea what.
Burak Yuksek, I think putting the beta on the list was a mistake.
It was a... You see, in my opinion it was, yeah. You're right. Now, people won't like it that there's no beta, but I might as well just put it out there, you know, essentially to tell everyone. I mean, the people on this... It's Burak's day today. He's on frequency. We're doing his flight request, and he's on stream. Alright, we're doing 6879.
687. Euro flight.
Dr.
Yeah.
Kyar, if a beta will release, will you play it on stream?
It depends, so I'll have to ask Stefan for the beta, and when he feels it's ready for release, or it's getting towards ready for release, and he wants me to demo it, I'll demo it. But I can't just get it and there we go, we've reached cruise, so I'll take the seatbelts out now. I can't just start using it without Stefan's permission, but I will as soon as he gives me permission, yeah.
Burak Yuksek, Eric's gonna freak out.
Yeah.
LOL.
I know, it's going to be so funny. We're going to go from one extreme to the other, like yesterday. I hate Eurofly. Can someone come and talk with me about how crap it is? And then when I tell him there's going to be no beta, I want a beta. Yeah, it was a mistake, yeah. Because there's so many people on that list, and it was like 1 or 2% of people were reporting on bugs and helping. The other 98% were either asking for new features, or they were just complaining and saying it was rubbish without actually trying to work out things for themselves. So however much people aren't going to like it, it's best to keep it just among people who are working on it. So I'm doing quite a bit of work, not on the coding side, but on the system side, the technical side, and I've done some work on the audio side for airports.
Kyar,
so
are you the biggest Eurofly player?
Am I the biggest Eurofly player? Do you mean streamer? I mean, I guess I'm probably the most recognised Eurofly streamer, yeah. I'm not the only person that streams it, but I guess I'm lucky enough to be the most recognised Eurofly streamer, yeah. You know, we've been streaming it probably right from version 1, haven't we? So yeah, I'd say I'm the most recognised Eurofly streamer. But yeah. And it doesn't hurt that I do things with Stefan. But yeah, it's helpful. We'll keep it, and that way I think a lot more bugs will be gotten rid of, because even when it was released officially there were still bugs, and part of the reason was the beta testing team were no good at beta testing. You know, I was emailing Stefan daily and going, this is a bug, this is a bug, this is a bug, and reporting things because people were just whinging on the mailing list. And yeah, it was a really bad setup. But so it probably is going to be a more in-house thing, this beta version. But yeah, like I say, don't worry. As soon as Stefan feels it's ready enough, then I'll stream it.
I had to leave the email list because some people were complaining too much.
I don't blame you, Miguel. I really don't blame you. I'm a moderator on there, and it's a pain. The list is a toxic place. It's not a nice place to be. There's so much complaining, and you've got so many people on there who think they are aviation wonder kids, and they think they know everything about aviation and everything about aircraft. And so they write long emails with suggestions, and this should be done, and this should be done, and this should be done, and you need to do this, and Eurofly doesn't do this. And
Rob.
oops.
List antalya 350 Eurofly.
Yeah, and they don't get how long that's going to take to code. And there is no such thing as better. This is the problem. There's no such thing as better. You can't really say FSX is better than Eurofly, because better is a very objective thing. They're both very different sims. Eurofly was originally just supposed to be a map that turned into a flight sim, and has got better over time, and is really more for beginners. FSX had a massive team behind it and was for mainstream, so you can't compare really. But there is a lot more realism coming in Eurofly 3, yeah. Although it is going to take a lot of work, so yeah, I'm going to have to do some stuff. I love the sound of this aircraft. I could sit here all day and just listen to those engines where they are now. Yeah, I don't even think I'm going to tell the list, to be honest with you, that there's not going to be a beta. I'm not even going to bother, because it's just going to go absolutely crazy. I'll just let Stefan tell them if he wants to tell them, and if he doesn't post anything, then, you know, unless it gets hectic with people asking where is it, I'm not going to bother. You know, like I say, the people on this stream are sensible. They know exactly what's going on. But people on the mailing list, it's a very toxic place. So.
Viewer Kyuksek, let Stefan be the bearer of the bad news.
Yeah.
Laughing face.
Exactly, yeah, he can tell them. He's the developer, the official one. He can post that there's not going to be a beta. Yeah, I see. I know a timeline for when we're aiming to release it, and I know when the first beta is coming, but I'm not going to disclose that, because if I start saying it's going to be released at this point, then people will expect it, and if there's problems and it isn't, then people will say, why isn't it out? So I'm not going to say anything, but you know, things are in the pipeline, put it that way.
Set frequency.
Ugur Kyar, I donated recently a little amount to the Eurofly project.
122.7. Did you donate? Yeah, that's always good. Yeah. I mean, you know, we all know about the limitations of Eurofly, and hopefully some will be addressed in Eurofly 3, but it is a good project, and it's for free. You always have to remember that. It's being done for free. And having done some developing on it myself
Waters,
now...
Is the FSX interface difficult to get used to?
I'll come back to that in a sec. Yeah, having done some developing on it now myself, Eurofly, I know it takes a good while. So it is being done for free, and it is a good amount of time. Is the FSX interface easy to navigate? It's alright. I use NVDA, and you have to use object navigation. So it's not the easiest, but once you get used to it, it is easy. I think I did a demonstration video a while back called something like FSX how to get to the free flight button, which shows you how to get to a flight and choose your plane, I think, or something. It's relatively easy, yeah. Yeah, we did have a few FSX flights in the thing. I think we had one around Australia. We had one going into Dubrovnik. That's going to be fun on FSX. So yeah, we'll see how all them go. Right, how are we
This Antalya,
doing?
293 km ahead.
Yeah,
Zero
we've
light.
got a little bit to go. 7.4's blasting through it anyway.
Murky J Waters, word.
What was that, sorry? Message? Let me just check in the chat. I don't know what that read out.
Traffic, climb,
Oh, of course.
now, traffic, climb,
E.
now, traffic.
Let's get out that way.
T. T. T.
Right. Yeah, not sure what you meant there, Murky. Right, let me just get this thing back down.
0. 0. 11,000, 4.
Go back down.
0 light.
Thank you.
Hooger Kyar, do you know Discord is accessible for blind users? Viewer Kyuksek, I wish I would have said FSX. LOL. Miguel
Discord is
Orduno,
accessible.
I
There
am
we go.
listening to the video in my swimming pool.
You're listening to the video in a swimming pool. Nice. Discord is accessible, is it? I have. Here we go.
Transponder edit. Max 7. 1. 8. 9. 0 light.
Identification confirmed.
I have. I'm connected on Discord with other streamers, servers like mainstream flight simmers who get, you know, hundreds of views to see what they're talking about. I haven't found it all that accessible, but I can. I've got a server that I made a while back called Blind Flight Simmer, but I never really used it because it wasn't very accessible. I didn't find it, but is the Windows app more accessible now? Because if it is, I can make it like a server so people can come in and talk or something. But you wish you would have said FSX. Yeah, I was surprised actually, Borak, at the amount of Eurofly requests. There was about 8 and about 3 or 4 FSX ones. I thought there was going to be more. I was like, yeah, it's all going to be FSX, I just know it. But it actually wasn't. Which I don't mind. I mean, I said I was going to stick to the requests either way. But,
The __ mute, hi.
hi and welcome along to the stream. I'm guessing that person is on Twitch because I can't see them in the YouTube chat, so we have a viewer on Twitch as well.
List Antalya, 242 km ahead. 0
Yeah,
light.
so about 240 kilometers out from
Hooger
Antalya.
Kyar, well, I heard that Discord is accessible with the Miranda client.
The Miranda client. Interesting. I just have the Discord Windows app and it's kind of works, but it's not great. I'm just connected to a few streamers' servers on there so I can see like when they're going to go live and stuff. But yeah. No, it would be nice to have a platform that worked well, that we could have like a server on for people to come in.
SK737, you're leaving the airspace of our
But, you know.
airport. Have a safe flight.
I have a Team Talk server, but that's kind of private. It's more of a private server. But, yeah. I have noticed the way I fly, I prefer shorter flights on Eurofly than FSX, because FSX there's so much to do. Like by the time you've got up, you're coming down and you have to keep managing the aircraft. But on short flights on Eurofly, it's a lot easier to keep track of the plane. But that's just preference.
Viewer Kyaksek, where is Marshall BTW?
I don't know where Marshall is at the moment. He's I'm not on the, my private server. He might be on there. I think he might have messaged me. Let me check. There we go. I've sent him a message to tell him I'm streaming. We'll see what he says. We'll see what's going on. Nice. We're racing through the flight. When we get down, I will have a look through the flight requests, and I'll tell you what else we've got in the flight request. There's some interesting ones that places I've never been to before. There's a few longer ones which are interesting. I think I saw one that was about 5 hours, so we'll see if that happens. But you know. Yeah, what was I saying? If I'm doing a long haul, I'll do it on FSX, because A, the sounds are way better, and B, of course, you don't have to do the identifying in countries crap or TCAS rubbish. So if I want to leave it like overnight and then come back or something, then I can do the long hauls on there, or if I want to just sit back and relax. But I find shorter flights way easier on Eurofly, especially in jets. And when Eurofly 3 is out, it'll be more realistic anyway. How much fuel have we got left? 2,697 will be fine. We may need a little bit more when we get down to get back to Istanbul. And then we'll see what we're going to do after that. We may, like I say, do another flight request. I think it was to Kabul or something, the other one that I saw out of Istanbul. Or we may just pick another flight out of Istanbul that goes out in real life.
Marshall Fairbrother, I'm on the server. I'll move you onto channel.
Right, there's Marshall. Let's see if we can get him on. Because we all want a bit of crazy Marshall time, don't we? Where he's telling us about how he smashed his planes up. Or whatever else he's been doing. Right.
Oh, there you are.
And there is Marshall. The legend that is Marshall.
Marshall desktop left channel, Marshall desktop join channel left channel, desktop left channel, join channel, Marshall.
Why did it relay it about 2 or 3 minutes after I told it to relay?
I don't know. What?
Booger Kyar, Kabul was my request.
Kabul was your request, yeah.
Miguel Orduno,
I thought there
yes.
was one. Yeah, that's right. I'm sure I saw there was one out of Istanbul, so I can't remember what plane it was in, but we may go and do that one. When we get back. I'll check what the time is when we get down back in Istanbul, but we may go ahead and do that one. What plane am I in, Marshall? 747 at the moment. We're heading to Antalya, and then we're heading back to Istanbul Ataturk, which is where we came from.
What's the distance?
pretty short flight. We're currently 160 actually, yeah, we should be hitting the top of descent right now. Good thing I checked that. Right, down.
Why are you doing something that short in a 747?
Because Borak requested it. It was on the flight requests, and he was the first person to request it, and he requested a 747 from Istanbul to Antalya, so we're doing it, and then we're going back. And you know what, why not, because it's a bit of fun. Because it gets a bit boring using A320s all the time or whatever. So why not use something like this? Because I don't get to demo the 74s or whatever much on stream, because we don't do many long hauls, so...
Out of clouds.
Yeah, we'll hit top of descent now anyway, so...
Yep.
You have entered airspace of a new
Yeah,
airport.
the legend is back, however everything technologically seems to be working right now, so hopefully my infamous rage isn't needed.
Viewer Kyuksek, I didn't know if I flew with 737 or 747 in real life. When I looked, both took the same time, so I chose 747.
Do they, Borak? Do they fly this in real life in 747? Wow. I didn't think they'd do that, but interesting. It must be a pretty high density route then, with a load of passengers on for them to use a 74. What is that noise? Oh, I think it's on
I don't know,
Marshall's
everything seems fine.
It's alright, I just heard a weird noise. Oh, I think it was on the radio. Yeah, interesting then. I didn't know they did this in a 747, Borak. Interesting. Those old 747s still making their way through the skies. Blasting their way through the skies.
You must not fly back to Istanbul. If you are landing in Antalya, you can set up Istanbul directly.
Sorry, what do you mean?
Viewer Kyuksek, this is a vacation destination, so that might be the reason.
Oh, that makes sense, yeah. Sometimes airlines do that. They send... That's why they... sometimes you'll see 777s or something on like a 2-hour route, because it's a really, you know, high demand route, and they want to fit as many people in as possible.
Channel message from Marshall desktop. Technical code VA says the 172 landing at 88 ATS.
I'm not sure what you meant by that message, by the way, Hugo. I'm not sure what that's what you mean. The current plan is to land in Antalya and then set off and land back in Istanbul, and then we may fly, like I said, out to Kabul.
List Antalya 112 km Eurowise.
Did you get my message about me breaking the Cessna?
Hooker Kayar, if you want to fly to Kabuli, you must not fly back to Istanbul.
Oh, okay then. Was your flight request not out of Istanbul? I can't remember where your flight request was, Yuga. I thought it was Istanbul to Kabul. I can't remember. Or was it Antalya to Kabul then?
Z list Antalya 103 km 6 min. And red on Eurowise. Z.
Yeah, we don't need to be sending this fast.
Viewer
Let me just...
Kyuksek, maybe he means you don't need to.
I don't need to. I know I don't need to fly back, Yuga. Yeah, we're just... If that's what you mean, we're just doing it because it's a short flight, so I thought we'd do there and back.
3 dash 3 0 0 0 0 comma 7 Euroflight
Why would I want the plane to go to 0 meters? Come on.
Pull up!
3000, common. 7.
Pull up!
It's alright. I've sorted it.
Flying through clouds.
Yeah, I'll check the flight request when I get down and see what's going on with it. See where we're actually going to fly. Right, I tell you what, we'll put the seatbelts on now.
Booger Kayar, you don't must fly back. You can start from Antalya. Less work for you.
Okay, yeah, I mean we could start from Antalya. I don't mind either way. I'll tell you what then, so people in the stream, do we want to, what's the plan? Do we want to go straight from... Oh, okay, Marshall. So does everyone in the stream, do we want to fly back to Istanbul then go to Kabul? Or do we want to go straight from Antalya over to Kabul? I don't mind either way.
I put Gus as sounds just works and it seems to work.
Ah, okay, Marshall.
List Antalya, 73 km 1 left.
So
4
I just sent a channel message to see if that alert would work.
Can you remember what aircraft it was in, Yuga?
Viewer Kyuksek, doesn't matter.
Alright then. If it doesn't matter, we'll go from Antalya. We'll go straight from Antalya. That's fine. Yeah, that's fine. The only reason I was going to fly back was because it was a shorter flight, and so I thought, well, we'll do the full rotation there and back. But if people want us to go straight to Kabul, we'll go to Kabul. And then, yeah, okay. Yeah, we may switch aircraft then when we get down. I'll see what the flight request to Kabul was in.
List Antalya, 64 km 1 Euroflight. Z.
Yeah, we're definitely on track for the altitude.
Booger Kayar, Airbus A321, is that possible?
A321, yeah, we can do it in the A321, that's fine. And it was on, yeah, it was on Eurofly if I remember correctly. Okay then, it's fine. We will do that. We will do the A321 across to Kabul as per the flight request.
Set frequency.
Yep. Enter 1, 3. Euroflight.
I think the only A321 I have installed at the moment is using the default Airbus sound scheme, but that's good enough for me, so that's
Taurus
fine.
fan, which plane is that?
This is the Boeing 747, Queen of the Skies, blasting across to Antalya.
You have entered the airspace of a new airport. Squawk 5735.
Right, so we're going 5735 in the squawk. We're going to get rid of
Identification confirmed.
NVDA now.
737, this is your destination airport. Descend to 100
Does
and
everything
contact
work
tower
on this
to
stream
request
so far?
landing clearance at 2 kilometers
Yeah, pretty
from
much.
the airport.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Good.
we are approaching our destination airport and will be landing shortly. Please fasten your seatbelts, set your seats to an upright position, and close the tables in front of you. Thank you.
Right, let's close the cockpit door for landing. Let me just check on my current landing speed. So we're coming in at about 265. Right, I'll turn these engines up just a little bit for landing. Don't need them too loud, I want to be able to hear what I'm doing, but we'll let people listen to them a bit. Right. Yeah, we're looking fine on altitude. Looking fine now. And the weather, Clear temperature 30 degrees western, 4 kilometers. Interesting. So Antalya is 4 degrees hotter than Istanbul, apparently. Yeah, looking fine.
Taurus fan, do you know anything about Eurofly 3.0?
Yeah, I do know what's in the pipeline for Eurofly 3.0, and there are good things coming to improve realism. Yes, I know exactly what's going on with that. I can't reveal too much about it, but you know.
It will burn in August.
There we go. It will burn in August, will it? Interesting, yeah. Yeah, UK's just had a heat wave. But it's just about calm down here.
Talking of calming down, apart from today's incidents that we won't talk about on camera.
Right. Now watch me smash it into Antalya.
Hugger Kair, at which distance to my destination airport should I descent? Sometimes the tower is too late.
Sometimes. I usually do it as realistically as possible. So I would start about 160 kilometers out, and I would descend at about 7 or 8 degrees nose down. That's pretty much, you know, how normal aircraft would do it. You want to start descending nice and slowly, a little way out from the airport. So yeah, about 160, 170 km out, and you want to be, like I say, about 6 degrees to 9 degrees nose down, and just keep monitoring your altitude.
Marshall desktop logged onto the server. Marshall desktop joined channel root.
Another instance just to check.
Okay, just don't do anything with it, Marshall, in a minute, because sappy. Yeah, if we could just not put anything in the chat for now until we land, because of my sappy thing. Stop our speed there, just so I can make sure that I can hear the plane's information at all times. Then that would be much appreciated. And then we can carry on using chat as normal as soon as we touch down. Right. Looking pretty good. Let's get flaps out and let's put gear out now. Let's turn these engines up a bit more as well. Right. Altitude is fine. Let's get this thing slowed down to landing speed now, shall we? Nice and early, so that we're absolutely ready. Right, we want about there. That'll do us right there nicely. In fact, we'll slow it down just a tad more, so that we're not coming in too fast. Perfect. Altitude is looking good. A little bit high, but we'll be fine.
SK737, this is the control tower. We are experiencing heavy traffic. SK737, this is the SK737. You are clear to land. I repeat, you are clear to land.
Thank you. Right, let's see if we can get a nice soft landing into Antalya.
What temperatures do you usually experience in August, Borak?
And we're down. Perfect. Let's get the reverse on there. To slow us night down. And beautiful. Great landing, enjoyed that. Right, we'll stop it right there and then we'll contact ground. 116.7, and we'll do flaps as well, and we'll keep speed up, and yeah, we can reuse chat now as well.
Marshall desktop left channel route. Marshall desktop joined channel.
Okay, yeah, we've got 2 of you now.
Yeah.
Marshall desktop left channel. Marshall
Get rid of one.
desktop logged out of the server.
There we go.
I
Make
put
sure
the
we
ghost
slow
sound
down.
scheme in, so I wanted to make sure.
Viewer
obviously, the
Kyuksek,
van
you're
door and
contacting
everything
yourself.
was good.
Yeah, essentially, I'm contacting me.
Viewer Kyuksek, and welcome to Antalya.
Yeah, welcome to Antalya. That is one flight request completed.
Have a nice day.
Have a
Alright,
nice
what
day.
sort of temperatures do you get in August?
-33, -19, -9, -1.
Yeah, Eurofly SK737, contact yourself. Right, there we go. Parking brakes on. Let's get the cockpit door back open. We'll get the seatbelts off. We'll start shutting everything down here. Got a bit of fuel left in the plane. What else do we need to do? Auto nav off. And that's it. So engine 1, 2, and we should have 3 and 4, but that's coming in a later version. Off. And open the doors and
Viewer Kyuksek,
off.
I don't live in Antalya, but I guess they get up to 40.
Says they get up to 40, Marshall. He thinks. Right, so off they go. And
Marshall desktop logged onto the server. Marshall desktop joined channel route.
And yeah, we will jump in the A321 and head over to Kabul next.
Marshall desktop left
My
channel
internet
route.
dropped.
Oh, right.
Marshall desktop joined channel.
I broke the Akisim 172.
Marshall
earlier as
desktop
well,
left
but
channel. Marshall
that's one of
desktop
my
logged
clones
out of the
that's
server.
died.
Right. So yeah, I know this next flight request it wasn't like number 2 in the list, but seeing as it's around the same region, we might as well do them together. Makes more sense. Let's close the doors. And let me just reboot MVDA, and then we'll jump in the A321.
Taskbar. Eurofly.
Basically, for people who don't
Airspeed is up 57.
talk and wonder what's happening there, if your internet drops sometimes it generates random claims and then one of them just dies eventually and logs itself out of the server, and that's just what happened to me.
Right, so we're getting in the default A321,
Eurofly.
and we should still be at, yeah, we're still in Antalya. Still clear temperature 30 degrees western, 4 km/h, and then in a second we will get set up for the next flight. Right, so is the computer on? I can't remember if the state actually saves its right.
23W.
Dogger Kyar, thank you for doing my flight request.
That's fine. Yeah, this is what the forum is for, and I'm glad we can engage with the community a bit more and do other people's flight requests instead of just flying around my home region, because you know it's always great to visit new places and interact with the community a bit more. Right, so we're going to Kabul. So I think, let me see if I can get this right. Asia.
Miguel Orduno, I have a question. I am at my gate. Is there a quicker way to get to the runway without having to backtrack through all the gates?
Not really. Do you mean with reverse because it's limited to 20? Yes, there is. If you mean that, you can turn around. So let's say you have to turn the plane around 180 degrees and then you can go forward, if you see what I mean. So you go forward at whatever speed you want, but make sure your speed is low by the time the beeping starts. The beeping symbolises that you know, and once the beeping stops, then you turn north again. I'll show you on this flight what I mean, if that's what you're talking about. Yeah, so we're going into Afghanistan, and we want that, so that should be alright. Let me just check the time.
83 right, 3HR 29 minutes. Taurus fan, what's your favorite plane?
My favourite plane in real life is probably... that's a difficult one. Probably the A320. I like the A320 as an aircraft because it's so technologically advanced. It's got so much technology behind it. My favourite aircraft in the sim is probably the 747. Probably. Right, so yeah, we can do this flight, I think. Yeah, we will do it, but be aware we may have to turbo a little bit. Not up to 10,000, but I may have to do a little bit of turboing just to make sure we get there on time. But we will be able to do it. Right, let's add this to navigation. Get rid of NVDA.
Set frequency around 116.7.
Going to 116.7. What else do we need to do? Yeah, we need to do the fuel. So we're going to need, let's put 5,000 in first because we're going to need a good amount of fuel. Yeah, so we might have to do a little bit of turbo, otherwise I'm going to be flying till like 12 AM my time, but we will, yeah, we'll get there.
Free flight. Current weight, current takeoff, current range, 1,409. 3,460.
Yeah, we're going to need a bit more fuel than that, so let's do, I don't know, let's try another 4,000. We want a lot of reserves here. Yeah, we won't turbo like crazy, but we'll do like an hour at normal or something, and then we might do a little bit of turbo. Otherwise I'll never get there. Yeah, hang on, I haven't even got my fuel. We still need more fuel. Let's go for another, like, I don't know, 4,000. This is going to be a lot of fuel.
If it be too long for you, you can break it up. I would be not angry to you.
I mean, do you want...
Murky J Waters, sorry about that confusion earlier with my message. I'm from LA and sometimes my slang gets the better of me, lol.
Yeah, I think from England we didn't understand what it meant.
Be careful, when you turn your engines on your fuel might suddenly drop.
Really?
Interesting. Known bug.
Yeah, is it? Okay, interesting. So Yuga, with this flight...
What bug is it?
That when you turn your engines on,
Taurus
your fuel
fan,
might suddenly
how
drop.
can I calculate how much petrol I'll need?
You mean fuel? Yeah,
petrol?
I think, yeah,
we don't burn petrol, sir.
I know what you mean with the fuel. How can you guesswork? So the way I would do it is start out by putting like 1,000 litres in, or so. Check your current range and see how it compares to your destination. So let's say you've got a flight that's 1,000 kilometres. You probably want to keep adding fuel until your current range reads, I don't know, about 1,500 kilometres, because then you've got enough fuel for the flight and enough fuel in case you need to divert or something. So then that way, yeah, that's how I plan it, instead of just going full fuel. So Yuga, with this flight, I can do it, but it's going to require me to turbo. So there's two options. I can either do a different flight out of Antalya today and then do your flight another day in full, or I can do your flight but it will require some turbo. So it's up to you whether you want me to do it now with turbo a bit, or we do the
channel
full
message
flight.
From Marshall Desktop. You do not burn petrol in aviation. You either burn jet fuel for jets and turboprops, and you might burn AV gas for smaller Cessnas, or you might be able to burn diesel.
Yeah. Let me just go and have a quick look at what other flights go out of Antalya and see if there's any other options.
Duggar Kyar, you can do it with turbo.
Right, then we'll do it with turbo. So yeah, we'll get there, but we'll do it with a bit of turbo. Right, so where were we with the fuel? We were going to add about another 4,000.
Oh dear.
What?
British police have found a bottle of Novichok which was used to poison that couple at their house.
Right, please tell me that's enough fuel.
Current range 3,760.
Yeah, that's just enough fuel, although I'm going to add like another 1,500 just to be sure, because we are going to be turboing. So you see, I'm just checking my current range.
Just in case your fuel randomly drops.
Yeah, I'll check the fuel and see if it drops. Interesting, that bug. Yeah, I have never encountered it, but I've never really been looking out for it. Right, so I'm 14,880. So let's say we go engines on.
14,880.
Let me just monitor the fuel.
14,880.
I reckon we're alright.
14,880.
Yeah,
Yuksek,
fine.
press E when you turn your engines on to guarantee.
Yeah, we're fine. We've got the same amount of fuel. Right.
Yuksek, I failed flights because of it.
Yeah, nasty bug that. Yeah, that's annoying. We were definitely okay with that. Right, let's go and get our passengers then. Let's get to gate 2 then.
Fasten your seatbelt.
Shut up, woman.
Gone.
57.
Which one?
One telling me to fasten my seatbelt. Nobody cares about fastening the seatbelts here. We're fine. Passengers aren't even on yet.
53. East. Gate.
Don't know what I was doing there.
Just don't go full throttle, otherwise you might launch your co-pilot through the window.
Taurus fan, sorry. I'm from Austria and can't speak or write in English so well.
No, don't worry about it. Your English is fine. I understand exactly what you mean. I know what you mean. Yeah.
If it was you that was asking about
you
petrol,
what?
I was just trying to correct you.
Why has the plane just crashed when it was turning into the gates?
About Eurofly.
Like normal. That is just ridiculous. Okay, well, we're gonna go again. I have no idea. I'd have to watch that back and see if I did something wrong.
Channel message from Marshall Desktop. You crashed into a gate.
I think.
We crashed into a gate. How would you crash into a gate? We were just turning down the gates to go down the thing.
Yeah, that's the only conclusion I could think of, if it crashed when you turned in.
Yeah, maybe I think I might have turned in a bit too late or something. Or, I don't know. That was weird. I don't understand what I did wrong there, but whatever. Right, so let's go back to Turkey. We want back to Antalya.
Burak Yuksek, that is a question you need to ask to air crash investigation.
Yeah, we need an air crash investigation into that. How did the pilot go wrong? The pilot, distracted by 7 people in chat and Marshall Fairbrother on Team Talk, turned too late into the gates intersection, crashing the Airbus A321 and wasting $50 million for the airline. But luckily he got a new one, so we're here again. Right, I can't even remember how much fuel we had, so I'm just going to try, I think it was about 14,000, so let's try that.
Burak Yuksek, you turned a bit late, I guess.
14,800.
Yeah, I reckon that was it, Borak. I think I turned a bit too late because I wasn't paying attention, and then I think I turned too late into the gates.
6,004.
I like the way you can see the fuel coming on here. It's quite nice. Instead of it just being chucked on in one go. And then we get about 5,000 litres in 2 seconds. Lol. Right, how are we doing with this? Current range, yeah, we're fine. So we've got to set that again. So Asia, Afghanistan, Kabul, and we're going to go on 116.8 now. The frequency has changed, everyone, for some strange reason. Right, let's go gates again, engines on again, and we've got gate 2 again. Second attempt. Let's see if I can do it better this time. Let's put the seatbelt on as well so that woman doesn't shout at me. And
Hooger Kyar,
let's
do
go.
you know the air crash investigation TV show Mayday?
Yes, I do.
I love it.
Yeah, it's a very good show, Hugo. Yeah, I've watched pretty much all of the episodes. I watched them a lot before I started flight simming. Yeah, right, we're going to turn. Slow down, aircraft, slow down. We're not having the same thing again. Slow down.
I have several crashes that might need sorting out.
Right, that's right, isn't it? Yeah, we've turned into gates, so now we just keep taxiing forward.
46. Gate.
So we want gate 2.
I've intercepted Gus's outside mics as well there, so I can listen to it without having to go into his channel.
Okay. Yeah, I think we've done it this time, we're fine. On the second attempt, the pilots managed not to crash the plane. Yeah, I do love the Mayday thing. I mean, it is a bit dramatic. They're always, you know, they do big things up a bit sometimes. When, you know, obviously it is an emergency, but they're like, you know, they spend most of their time going, and the passengers are fighting for their lives as smoke billows in the plane and the Airbus A321 plummets towards the ground. Obviously that's not a real plane, but you know.
Or quite a lot of people just randomly screaming.
Yeah, but it is a good show, yeah, documenting a lot of, obviously, very unfortunate air crash accidents. Right, engines off again, because we don't want those passengers getting hurt by the jets.
Including a plastic DC-10, which had one of its engines fall off. There was an American 191 where the engines fell off, wasn't there?
Ah, yes, and we've got the new passenger sounds that I put in. I love these sounds.
Are those the GSX ones?
Yeah, these are from FSX.
Yeah.
Right, we've got 220 people on board. And, yeah, so, right, it's fine. Let's get engines on again. Safety info.
Ladies and gentlemen, we kindly ask you to pay attention to the following presentation of safety.
So, ventilation on, pressure, climate, TCAS, weather, status, cabin lights, tail lights, strobe lights. Let's close the cockpit door. We're going to go 500 in there. We'll go 14 and we will go flaps. Now this is how, I can't remember who it was, but someone asked about if you can get from the gates quicker. So we're currently at gate 2 and we're facing east. So
Marshall
I'm gonna,
desktop left channel.
And Marshall
desktop
died
logged out of the server.
again. So we're just going to apply a little bit of power and then we're going to turn the plane 180 degrees, so we're now going to head west. So you'll hear gate 2, or at least I can hear it moving around me. So it was on my right, it's now going to move to my left because we've turned right around. And then we're going to, now we can go as fast as we like because we're going forward away from the gates. So yeah, we'll go at about, we don't want to go too fast. Oh yeah, engines are on 100, it's fine.
Marshall desktop logged onto the server. Marshall desktop joined channel route. Marshall desktop left channel route. Marshall desktop joined channel main area.
So you can hear
Marshall
gate 1.
desktop left channel main area.
Shut it,
Marshall
Team
desktop
Talk.
joined channel.
Right, yeah, there's gate 1 going back on the left. And then in a minute you'll just hear beeping with no gate number. That means we're heading towards the exit, kind of. And by the time that beeping stops, you've got to be slowed down and then you just turn back north. Because that essentially means you've passed your exit. So there's the beeping, which is going to get louder and closer. So I'm going to start slowing down.
25. 15.
And I'll just let you listen to it. And as soon as this stops, we're just going to do, we're just going to turn north.
I'm going to have testing with this thing, isn't it? I don't know why it's doing that.
Well, we were. There we go. Now we're north. So I've turned north. Now the beeping stopped. Make sure your speed's, I don't know, like below 10. And then you'll hear the ding. And you'll be back on the normal taxiway. There we go. So the gates are back on my right. I'm accelerating. And there we go.
We'll be taking off in a few minutes, so please fasten your seatbelts. Thank you.
Right, now what runway were we supposed to go to?
A321, roll to the runway B1.
B1, and our current takeoff speed is going to be quite high because we're pretty heavy. Yeah, 268, as you can see, we are heavy. And I'm just going to switch to tower now because it's easier. 131.8. Square 1046.
Identification confirmed.
And we'll keep the speed below 50 because that's pretty much what they're doing in real life.
Yeah, you wouldn't go down a taxiway at 100 knots.
Keep moving straight ahead, Juliet.
2. 2.
Gonna hold short runway 22 right for 12 Golf here.
You know, I've got so much work to do on Eurofly 3. I just want to get started on it during this flight, but I can't really because then it's going to reveal to everyone on stream what's coming in Eurofly 3 and I can't really do that. So tomorrow I might just get FSX up, set up a mega long haul for like 8 hours and
luckily
do it.
you can watch all Mayday episodes on YouTube. It is also in Germany, which I am from a famous TV show. And I love it how Marshall and you imitate the show XD.
Yeah, they are a bit dramatic, but like I say, they are good shows. Yeah, they're all on YouTube pretty much. I mean, you have to search around for some of them.
Yeah, and some of them get pitched.
Yeah.
Some of the audio gets pitched and some.
I wonder if I can do a turning takeoff here. I'm going to see if I can get clearance and then like turn onto the runway and then just go. Right, yeah, we're going to have to go down B as soon as it comes up. Yeah, I might just set up like a mega 8-hour long haul on FSX tomorrow and just do work on Eurofly 3.
Well, you won't be streaming FSX, will you?
No, I won't be streaming. I can't really stream working on Eurofly 3 for Stefan because, like I said, it's not really... I mean, I can kind of hint at things that might be coming on stream because I like doing that, but I can't really show me working on stuff. Oh, we'll see if I can get... Right, so we want B1, I think it was. So, there we go, let's keep going down B. Did I set my flaps? I think I did, but I can't remember. Yeah.
Can I have the before takeoff checklist, please?
Before takeoff checklist, yeah, there isn't one, so we're just going to have to go for it and hope for the best.
What is that? Checklist complete.
Yeah, let's see if I can get clearance and then just go.
SK737, all runways.
Oh, come on.
SK737, all
okay.
runways are currently in use. Please try again in a moment. SK737, you are cleared to take
oh no, we are.
runway B1.
So I'm just going to leave the speed where it is, turn like this, and then just go. So like I'm not even going to... Here we go. Turn. And full power.
B1. B.
80 cross check.
Runway 13 left, close takeoff.
V2, we're airborne, flaps and gear up.
Positive rate, gear up.
Positive rate.
Take off successful.
Right, increasing speed. Auto nav engaged. And off we go. See you later, Antalya. It was nice visiting. Right, we'll stop the speed there. 250 knots. Right, so we're going to be going up to 11,000 because we always do. And we'll set the climb rate to about 13. And we'll wait for them to give us that instruction and then we will go. Just do it. Right, and then all we have to do is increase the cruise power as soon as we get up past 10,000.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have successfully taken off, and you may now unfasten your seatbelts. During flight, our staff regularly get their attention if you would like to ask a question or need. We wish you a pleasant flight.
Channel message from Marshall desktop. Improved crash sounds.
SK737, climb and maintain 11,000.
What? Why did we not climb? Why did... Oh, I know why. My bad, I put... To be honest, Marshall, I couldn't care less about the crashing of Eurofly, because the aim is not to crash. And so whilst improved crash physics might be nice, I'm much more interested in improved plane physics and improved plane systems and airports before we're messing around with that.
Yeah.
And I don't really see there's much you can do with crash physics. I mean, you crash. You hit the ground, you hear a loud smashing noise. I don't know, it's coming through with the radio. Some idiot's transmitting randomly, apparently. Yeah, let's open the open this door and listen to the passengers messing about in the cabin.
Charlie, Alpha Sierra Delta, approach 121 to find 3 dispatch.
And I should also change the stream title in a minute. So let me just get up to cruise power and then we'll go ahead and do that. Yeah, I love these passenger sounds, they're way more realistic. Although it sounds like people are messing about with seatbelts all the time. Which they really shouldn't be doing because the seatbelts are on, you naughty passengers. Come on, 3,000, there we go. Let's increase power up to cruise. And then we will turbo at some point. A little. Just to make sure we get there at a reasonable time.
Channel message from Marshall desktop. Get back in your flipping seats now, otherwise you will be banned from flying with Eurofly passengers.
Yeah. Right, we'll keep it at a nice high cruise power. Tell you what, let's announce to the passengers what Marshall has just relayed, shall we? Good afternoon, passengers. Oh, that didn't work. Great, thanks. Good afternoon, passengers. This is your captain speaking. I'd just like to let you know that the co-pilot here up on the flight deck has just let me know to relay to you the message that you better get back in your flipping seats now, otherwise you will be banned from flying with Euroflight Airlines ever again, you little gits. Thank you.
Yes, because they're out of their seats, messing with seatbelts when the signs are on. Crash.
Right, they have now been told that weird noise is coming through the radio again, and I'm going to go and change the title of the stream. So,
busy about cold plan. Mozilla Firefox bin. Enter your search term edit plan. Enter your search term combo box selects as on. File sub menu +1.
do you mind Firefox?
File sub edit sub use business. Show all business restore previous recently cooked bin 1 of 15. Titles and games 2 of combo box selects as auto complete editable. Titles and games Mozilla Firefox. Titles and games business navigation and link.
No, I wanted it to open. I want to change my name. We'll call it A321
space
flight request
antalya space up 2 space Kabul space.
No idea if that's how you spell it, but we'll go with it.
Title edit button. Use each clickable A321 flight route.
Yeah, fine.
Euroflight F.
135.6.
Booger Kyar, do you know live ATC? I would record some air traffic and send it to Stefan as background. Is that possible?
Yeah,
no,
it's
I
I don't know how it works. I don't know whether you can send it to Stefan or he does it. You see, ideally, and I don't know whether I'll be able to get him to do this for like Euroflight 3. It might be something for a later version because it's. But ideally, it would pull stuff from live ATC and just fly the area. But I think you can certainly record it. There are ways to do that. But I'm not sure if Stefan sorts out the ATC himself. But I'm hoping more is coming because we've got dedicated ATC packs now. Is it for America and Australia? Is that right?
Yeah, we've got America, Canada.
Yeah, oh, America, Canada and Australia, where the area you're in, it has dedicated audio from live ATC. So I'm hoping one will be coming for Europe soon. The ATC transmissions we've got around Europe aren't bad, but yeah, it'd be nice to have something a bit different. I wonder what the music is around Turkey on Euroflight.
Might have to turn it up if it's
flying through clouds.
Let's see if I can do it. Oh yeah, I've got to turn it all the way up. Fantastic. Probably for some not very good music. But it gives us something to do. Hello? I can still barely hear the music. Can't really hear much going on. Oh, I can.
Message from Marshall desktop. What did you think of my passenger announcement to keep them under control?
Right, I think we'll turn that off. Not very good.
Attention, you're entering the turbulence.
Oh yeah, that's the point. We can turn the seatbelts off now.
Off.
Because we're probably nearly up at cruise. Yeah, we literally are. So there we go. Right, so we're pretty much up at cruise. Let's see. So it's saying 3 hours 55 minutes, which would put me at what time's that in the UK? What? Oh, 22 minutes and 4 seconds. I see. I think that means 0:22. Yeah, so that would be like at 20 past midnight, which I wouldn't mind doing, to be honest, but we will see. I think we'll do a bit of turbo. But while we're up here, I can, you know, we can enjoy the stream. I can answer a few more questions about Eurofly 3 and FSX or whatever other questions people have. Yeah.
Murky J Waters, yo, one more question about FSX. When you download it, do you gotta get any extra add-ons?
So when you get FSX from Steam, I got someone to get it for me because it's such a pain with Steam. So someone downloaded it for me. There are various add-ons you can get, but you don't need. So the first one you have to get is called FSX Pilot. That's free. And that is essentially the thing that flies the plane for you. It's like an autopilot, so you tell it what to do by inputting things like altitudes, airspeeds, and it'll do the auto landings for you. So it will, you know, do takeoffs and then land for you at whatever airport you select. So that's free, that you can get. I'm trying to think. You can get lots of aircraft to download. Not all of them will work that well with FSX Pilot, but you can get lots of aircraft free and paid. I usually mainly get free ones because it's easier, obviously. You can also get multi-crew experience. That is like another autopilot that has different voices, and it's like a co-pilot. So you can get it to do air traffic control for you, but it can't actually fly the plane very well for you, and that's pretty expensive for what you get. But yeah, the very basics are FSX and FSX Pilot, which will fly the aircraft for you. That's the very basics. I'd say get those and have a go with it, and then you gradually build stuff up. So I started building up more sound packs that were more realistic for aircraft. If you need any sound pack recommendations once you've got it up and running, let me know, I can give you some. More aircraft, and I bought an add-on that puts real world weather into the simulator. That costs money, but I'd say do the very basics first, have a go with it, get to grips with FSX Pilot, which is the thing that flies the plane. Get to grips with how to use that, and then once you've done that, then you can start adding more stuff in as you go.
Channel message from Marshall Desktop. Ladies and gentlemen, the captain has turned off the fasten seatbelt sign and you are free to move out of the aircraft. However, when you see it, I read your comment that you keep your seatbelts absent in case we get unexpected turbulence. Thank you. And Donald Trump has just landed in Glasgow. Dot.
And I really recommend that the co-pilot learn how to spell, because that was a mess. But yeah. But yeah,
Murky J Waters, hell yeah, thank you.
Okay, yeah, that's fine. Yeah, so FSX Pilot is freeware. It's pretty easy. Just install. You have to run it as admin, and then it comes with a manual. I think the manual's in a PDF. It's a bit awkward. I've got it in Word, so if you want it in Word and you're struggling with it, let me know and I'll send it over. But it's relatively easy. Once you've got to grips with it, you'll be you know, there'll be no issues. It's not a really difficult piece of software. The most difficult part is that you have some abbreviations on the buttons. They're not completely labelled, and the edit boxes, so you have to learn where things are a little bit, but you can get to grips with it pretty easy.
Attention, entering the turbulence.
Yeah, that was what I was going to do. Let me just go on the flight request and tell you what requests we've got.
I think there might be a TFR over Scotland because Donald Trump put
Hooger Kyar, is FSX also working with a braille display? I use my braille display currently in Eurofly and I can't Imogen it without it.
No, unfortunately Uber FSX doesn't work with a braille display. Reason being that FSX was built quite a while ago for people with sight, so they used it to you know, fly with lots of visual add-ons, and someone made an autopilot that allows us to fly with FSX as a blind user, but it's not really made for people with a visual impairment, so it unfortunately doesn't have any braille display support. That's why I always recommend people who are starting out or people who want to learn about aviation first to go to Eurofly to get the very basics nailed down, you know, so you can really start enjoying your flight simulation, and then when you get deeper into it, go over to FSX. But if, like you say, you're very kind of involved with the braille kind of side of it and you really enjoy that, then unfortunately, yeah, FSX doesn't offer anything there.
We're getting a bit of rain as well over here.
Yeah. Actually, I'm going to go and delete Borak's response now, right from the first one that was from Istanbul, because obviously we've done that, so we don't need that there anymore. But we've got 12 requests at the moment, so minus Borak's will be 11, and minus this one's Kabul that we're doing is 10.
What else have we got?
Let me just check.
Out of clouds.
Murky J Waters, I really love the cabin and passenger sounds in FSX. Whatever happened to It's Your Plane LOL?
Yeah, It's Your Plane. Good old It's Your Plane. I miss it all the time. But yeah, the developer pulled it essentially. He was apparently suffering with poor health and he didn't feel he could maintain it. And so, unfortunately, I only had it for about 6 months and then it was pulled. And so we have to make do with FSX Pilot, which is not nearly as realistic. And It's Your Plane was part of the passenger cabin sounds as well, so you know, with that gone, parts of them are gone.
Traffic, climb now. Traffic.
How dare you, TCAS? How dare you interrupt me?
Traffic.
Yeah, so I'll read off what we've got in the flight request in a sec. Once this stupid other aircraft that's in my way gets out. Of course, it's going to be a prop. Hopefully, I can get that changed for Eurofly 3. But yeah.
11,000, Cop 4. Eurofly.
Right, let me have a look what we've got. So we've got one going from Milan.
Murky J Waters, how did you get into flight simming, my guy?
Oh, I'll tell you what, I'll answer that first and then I'll go through the flight request because I just need to get that up. Well, a combination of things really. Part of it was I mean, I don't know whether I've always liked aircraft, to be honest. I always used to watch the air crash investigation videos and I saw the people using It's Your Plane, and I always thought, nah, it looks a bit complicated for setup. I don't really think it would be worth it in the end. I don't know, in the end I just thought, well, you know what, let's give it a go, because I got into Eurofly first, learned how to fly with that, and then I thought, let's give FSX a go, and since then I've never looked back really from both sides, Eurofly and FSX. I've been modding Eurofly to make it the best it can be, and now hopefully working a bit on Eurofly 3 and FSX. Of course, we had a great time with It's Your Plane, as you probably can see from the older videos we used to do, but now that's gone. We use FSXP.
Flying through clouds.
Hooger Kyar, did you alive turbulences in real live at a flight? I alive a big over the Black Sea and the people was so afraid lol.
Have I ever had turbulence? Yeah, we've had turbulence. I've done a lot of flights, usually around Europe, you know, 3 or 4 hour flights, and yeah, we've had turbulence, Yeah, so the first one was from Milan to Muscat, I don't know where that is, in a Boeing 777 Worldliner. Interesting. On Eurofly 2. Then the next one is from, I don't know where that is either, Venars. I'm going into the Merazor, I don't know where that is, in an Embraer. I can't, yeah, anyway, there's quite a few of them, so I'm not going to go through them all. But there were some interesting ones around Australia that I'm looking forward to doing anyway as well. There was, I think there was one going to Gold Coast in Australia, there was one going out of Sydney in Australia. There was a few interesting ones around there that will be fun. But yeah, keep them coming. Feel free to add more than one. You're not limited to one. And yeah, and we'll keep going with it. And hopefully I'll be able to do some on Eurofly 3 as well, of course, when it comes. That'll be great to do some demonstrations with flight requests.
The Australian ones will be fun, yeah. The only time I've flown into Australia is last year. I was doing a 10,000 kilometers an hour flight, but that's not realistic. Don't Eurofly one.
Hooger Kyar, which city we are currently overflying?
Which city are we currently overflying? Over Turkey still? Central Anatolia region? Over Caravan or Caravan, I don't know how you pronounce that. Yeah, I don't know where we are. Where are we heading? We've got a pretty long cross country of Turkey, and then did I say Iran? Yeah, heading into Iran, I think.
Channel message from Marshall Desktop. Please be careful in Iranian airspace.
Murky J Waters, flight simming is also a great way to just chill out.
Yeah, it is a great way to relax. Yeah, apologies, I was just typing a quick message to someone. Yeah, it is a nice way. Yeah, that's the thing really. You can enjoy it and you can have a real interest in it. But once you're up at cruise, you can also enjoy things a bit and interact with the stream a lot more, which is great. And just a quick check, I just want to check something for Eurofly 3. What do people think about the identifying feature? Now, I personally hate it. It's unrealistic, it's pointless, and it's one of the reasons I can't do real long hauls in Eurofly, because it's always there. So, I just want to get people's opinion. If I could get Stefan to remove it, or have a checkbox in options so it could be unchecked, then is that preferable?
Channel message from Marshall desktop. Get a checkbox there so we don't have to deal with it.
Not very realistic. I think it needs.
Yeah, it doesn't happen in real life.
Murky J Waters, I'm down. Got a phase in the realism.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, exactly. I might just get a checkbox and then people can have it on if they want, but it's I know why it was put in. It was, so people had something to do during cruise, but it's not really realistic and it doesn't really make much sense.
Booger Kyar, I would support the checkbox idea. Because I heard in real life it is for a pilot possible to do some other stuff during the flight.
Yeah, it is certainly possible for pilots to do other things that, you know, they do. They don't just sit there staring at the controls for hours. So yeah, I think the checkbox idea is good. The feature doesn't bother me unless, like I say, I'm doing a flight. If I want to do a flight that's like 4 or 5 hours, because I have other things to do, because sometimes I'll just set up a flight and do all the work if I've got work on my laptop needs doing. It's just annoying when it keeps going, identify yourself, and you have to keep going back in. It's kind of annoying. Or especially if I want to go and get like a drink or something, I can't really leave the computer, otherwise, you know, I could get identified unless I know I've got a long stretch of airspace ahead. So I think a checkbox would be good, and then people can choose whether they like it or not.
Hooker Kyar, but if you need time for a drink, you can type Alt F1.
9, 7, 5, 8.
Yeah, that's true. You can pause it, but then the annoying thing is you're not flying. I don't know. There's just been situations where, like in normal simulators, people can just leave the aircraft flying. So, you know, I've started like a 5-hour flight, then maybe had to go somewhere for an hour or so, and you have to kind of, you can leave it paused, but then the flight doesn't count towards your ranking and stuff. It's a really difficult one to balance it, because you don't want people just starting flights and then going and just coming back to land it all the time, you know, constantly, because that's not really how you learn to fly, just sticking the autopilot on and going. But then again, you want a balance where people aren't bound to their computer for 5 hours once they start a flight, because that's how it is now, unless you pause it, which you know you can do, but then it doesn't count towards stuff. But you know, that's what it is. I think we just need a checkbox, and then people can have it on or not, or perhaps even just a pop-up that says, you know, every so often, like every hour or something, it just says, are you still at the cockpit? And then if there's no response to that pop-up, then it just pauses the flight where you are. That might be a better solution. You know, every hour or so it just pops up saying, are you still in the cockpit of the aircraft? And you have to click OK, and if you don't, then it will pause the flight. And that way, yeah, that's easier, I think.
And I sent you a PM, but it's not TikTok.
Murky J Waters, gotta go man. Thank you for being so chill. Catch y'all in the next stream.
Hey Murky, thanks for coming along to the stream, and I'll see you in the next one.
Dogger Kayar, what's your favorite airline? I wish me so much to fly with Emirates from Frankfurt to Dubai.
Favourite airline? I don't really have a favourite airline. I guess I'd have to go with British Airways, because, you know, British Airways are just British Airways. The symbol of Britain, really, for airlines. And I'd love to fly on a bigger aircraft. I mean, I've only really ever flown on probably
Nick Cantos, hi. Is this Euroflight or Microsoft Flight Simulator?
We're on Eurofly at the moment, Nick. We're doing flight requests that people have sent in, and this one was on Eurofly. Yeah, I've only ever flown on 737s or A320s, so I'd love to fly with BA on a 747 or something like that, or, you know, an A380, something that'd be great. How much longer have we got?
I agree with this solution of pausing after no response to a pop-up. Better than getting unrealistically shot down.
Yeah, I reckon so. I think that's the best solution. Because like I was saying, it's a balance. You don't want people just sticking on the autopilot and going off. I think that's what Stefan's so afraid of, that people will just do that and go. But then you want that kind of security that you can leave your computer, because like I was saying, once you start like a 4 or 5 hour flight, if you want to do it realistically, you're bound to your computer. You know, you can't leave it, which is a problem. So yeah, I'd say I'll see if I can get him to introduce that. It's going to take a bit of convincing, but we'll see if we can get there. Where we change the identifying feature to something like that.
Frequency. Yep. 10.2.8.9.29.4. Eurolife.
But the good thing about this, the whole setup for Eurofly 3 is a lot better than Eurofly 2. For the simple reason that it's before with Eurofly 2 it was Stefan who made it, Stefan who put it out, and all the features were set. You couldn't change anything, pretty much that was it. With this time he's got a small team, but a team around him who will hopefully help him keep adding things throughout the beta process and changing things, and then when it's officially released, it's all there.
Dogger Kayar, I have a friend which flews in a Airbus A380 from Frankfurt to Florida 8 hours in business class, and he describes it as a dream.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, those types of flights always are. You get great service. Airlines are always great. You get your great food. You've got all stuff provided to you, and something like the A380 is going to be great. Yeah. Again, yeah, I don't want to say too much about Eurofly 3, but I'll sort it. But yeah, as soon as all I can say for people on the stream is, as soon as I can demo it, I'll demo it, which won't be too far off. Hopefully, still a good few months, but not as far as I thought.
have entered aerospace of a new airport. Squawk
Transponder S6. 8 Euro flight.
Identification confirmed.
I wish you didn't have to keep squawking as well at different airports. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I wish you didn't have to keep squawking at different airports as well. But that is what it is. That's been in since Eurofly 1 and will do very well if he gets that out.
Just in case I've got one of the nights that just randomly transmits computer audio.
Yeah.
Hooker Kyar, did you fly also the tasks or only free flights?
I did the tasks up to where I got category 3 aircraft, and then I stopped because essentially I just couldn't be bothered with doing tasks that other people had made. I wanted to do my own flights, and I wanted to do my own flights for the stream. So once I got to category 3, I haven't bothered. That's why my rank still says I'm like a level 7 or something, and I haven't moved because I got bored with the tasks and I wanted to do my own thing. The only thing that is good with tasks is now that obviously you can make task packs more specific. And again, I don't want to hint, but lots of new airports, like every airport is coming. Then you know there'll be more and more task packs. So so I may do the default task just so I can get to the task packs for fun. But yeah, for now I don't bother with the tasks. Tasks are good in certain ways, in the fact that they do introduce you to the different categories of aircraft. That's what they are good at. You learn the Cessnas, then you learn a bit bigger and you learn a bit more speed, then you learn your category 2 with those systems, then you learn your category 3 with autopilot. That's what they do teach you.
I'm going for meds, so I'm gonna log out so there's no getting and I'll log back in so got back, right?
Alright, see you.
That should be about 20 minutes.
Marshal desktop left channel. Marshal desktop logged out of the server.
Hooker Kyar, there are now a task pack about the World Football chips out. You flies fans to Russia.
Oh, for the World Cup, yeah, nice. I think I saw that, yeah. Yeah, that is, like I say, that is one good thing about the task packs, that you can kind of adapt them to things that are coming and happening now, with the things like about the World Cup and stuff. Yeah, that's good. That might be fun one to do.
SK737, you are leaving the aerospace of our airport. We wish you a safe flight.
Set frequency.
F.
132.1.
Enter 2. Eurofly.
132.1.
Attention, you're entering the turbulence.
Burek Yuksek, Eurofly 3 is coded in same programming language, right?
As far as I know, Borak, yes. I don't think he's changed anything with that regard, yeah, because then he would have to upheave everything that he's already done, so yeah, it'll be the same thing, I assume.
Dogger Kyar, does Stefan knows that you are stream Eurofly? And if yes, what is he thinking about it?
Yeah, I think he knows I stream Eurofly. Yeah, he said before that that I can demonstrate Eurofly. What does he think about it? I mean, I guess he's happy about it. He doesn't really talk about it that much. I mean...
Burek Yuksek, then it is highly likely that NVDA will say blank when you press control.
Yeah. I mean, I honestly don't know about that, Borak. It doesn't do it for me, put it that way. I don't know why it does that. When I get the first version to test, I'll have a look and see if it does it. And if it does, I'll mention it to him, see if he can sort it. But if it's something to do with the programming language, then yeah, it probably will.
Traffic, climb, climb now, traffic, climb.
Climb, please.
Climb now, traffic, climb now, traffic.
There we go. But what was I saying? Yeah, I guess Stefan's happy I'm streaming Eurofly. I mean, it's showing off his game, and it's especially when there's a new version. It's a great way to show people how to do it and to show off new features.
You have entered the airspace of a new airport. Squawk 8261.
6. Eurofly. Transponder 7. 8. 2. 6. 1.
Identification confirmed.
Merhabalar, onları 153. Onları 153 merhaba, konsantrasyon. Onları 153.
Burak Yuksek, are you turboing right now?
No, we're not at the minute, Borak. How far is it now? Tell you what, let's put a bit of turbo on now, shall we? Because, yeah, like I was saying earlier, we're going to have to do some turbo. I don't like the non-realism here, but it's necessary here. I'm only going to do it to the point where the time is going to be easier for me. So let's just see how we do. Right, what time is that going to be? No, it's still too late.
SK737, you are leaving the airspace of our airport. We wish you a safe flight.
Oh, of course, now we're going to get loads of airports.
9344. Identification confirmed.
Right, how's that? Let's go a little bit more than that. This is still going to give us a good amount of flying time, but it just means that I'm not going to have to sit here for ages past the time where I would usually be streaming.
Hooger Kyar, I hate two sounds too much in Eurofly. 1. The propeller plane at Tgast. And second, the crazy people after landing doing applause.
Yeah. Do you mean the default prop plane? Yeah, I hate those too. That's why I've modded most of them. And the applause is horrible. Yeah, I agree. That sound is awful. I really should just replace it with silence, because I don't think from the cockpit you'd actually be able to hear passengers applauding anyway. Right, let's go to 3000. How long's that going to take us? That's going to be another 53 minutes. What's that time going to be? Yeah, that'll do for now. That gives us another, you know, a good amount of streaming time, probably another hour or so. So, yeah, that's fine.
Taskbar. Eurofly.
Attention, you're entering the turbulence.
SK737, you are leaving the airspace of our airport.
Set
We wish you a
frequency.
safe flight.
Flying through clouds.
Ah, we've got some bad weather. 122.6. And we'll put seatbelts on if we've got this weather.
Done.
Sierra Kilo 737. You have entered the airspace of the new airport.
Viewer Kyuksek, is it legal to take sounds from FSX and use them?
Well, I mean, it depends what it's from, to be honest with you. I mean, most sound packs that I've took them are freeware, took them from a freeware. The actual default FSX, I don't know, to be perfectly honest with you. I mean, it's not being developed anymore, so it's entirely possible that it is legal. And to be perfectly honest with you, I really couldn't care less whether it is or it's not, because no one is going to find out. Eurofly is a very small project, and FSX is no longer developed on at all. And a lot of sounds in the flight simulation community are reused anyway for lots of different simulators. I would imagine it is legal though, because FSX, like I say, is no longer developed. It's not open source, but it's just out there and you can get it as it is, but it's no longer developed. But like I say, I honestly don't care.
Frequency.
Yep. Euro.
You have entered the airspace of a new airport, Squawk 1446.
1446, Borax on again.
Identification confirmed.
Attention, you're entering the turbulence.
Yeah, like most of these sounds that I've put in from FSX are freely available anyway, so they're out there and anyone can go and like download them and use them for
was
whatever.
I on before? Wow.
I think you were on when we were doing Istanbul to Antalya. I think, like not long after we departed. Clearly they've got you in the right places.
Dogger Kyar, I have heard that Microsoft wants to do more for accessibility on their games. Maybe we could convince there to do more for FSX?
SK737, you are leaving the airspace of our airport.
Yeah, unfortunately the problem with FSX, Yuga, is that they no longer develop it. They don't develop FSX anymore at all.
Yeah, laughing face.
Yeah, they don't develop it. So I think they stopped developing it in about 2010, and they sold it to another company called Lockheed, and Lockheed now develop it as another simulator. FSX is still downloadable, and you can keep it updated with, you know, up-to-date information on airports and runways, but it's not being developed anymore, so unfortunately that wouldn't do much for us. And the problem with Flight Sim and convincing mainstream companies to make things more accessible is that they look at how much money they would be making from the blind flight simulation community.
Marshall Fairbrother, RGR.
and they look at how much money they make from the blind flight simulation community and how much they could make from the mainstream community who can see, and they just think, well, there's not much point. That's, you know, it's annoying, but it's just the unfortunate attitude they would take. If you approach, like, I don't know, there's another simulator called X-Plane that's one that many sighted people use, that's, you know, very realistic. But the problem is, if you approach them and say, hey, can you make this accessible, they would most likely say, well, look, there's not enough of you to warrant us doing this to get our money's worth. So that's why we rely on simulators like Eurofly and add-ons to help us.
You're entering the turbulence. Clouds.
Nova just controlled airspace. Squawk 4472.
And we've got Josh on 4472.
0727. Radar contact.
List Kabul 2289 km 44 in Kabul. Eurofly.
So yeah, we're making good progress now. We're still over Turkey, Eastern Anatolia region now, and we're over. I don't even know how to pronounce that, so I'm not going to try.
Automatic navigation off.
I did not mean to do that. I meant to see if the the cockpit door was open. The passengers are just being quiet.
Flying through clouds.
Ogre Kyar, but to make a game accessible don't costs much more. That's just coding. There are existing accessibility guidelines like Apple for apps.
Yeah, exactly, but the thing is, Yuga, that they would say that the amount of people who would buy the aircraft for that reason, no, buy the aircraft, buy the simulator, their logic is essentially, if we spend, I don't know, 6 months making a simulator completely accessible and completely usable and completely realistic for someone who's blind, and then we get, I don't know, 70 people who are blind buying the simulator, we could have spent that time doing things for people who can see, and you would get 500 people buying the simulator. That's their logic. So they would say, if you focus on the blind simulation community, there's less people than in the sighted simulation community. So if they focus more on them, they get more purchasers.
660.
I don't know precisely what the guidelines are and whether there are guidelines for games to be accessible. I would imagine not, because the game would be... I don't know, I'm not up to date on that. But I mean, there's a lot of games out there that aren't accessible, and you know, developers can't be bothered to make them accessible.
Attention, you're entering the turbulence.
You know, I'm not saying a completely accessible flight sim that can be used by sighted and non-sighted people will never happen. I'm just saying it's very unlikely that companies would ever think of that. And you know, people have tried approaching them and seeing if they would help to make things accessible, but they're not really interested, because like I say, They could spend 6 months making it great for us and 70 people might buy it. They could spend 6 months adding new features for people who can see, and you'd get, like I say, loads of people buying it. So that's just the problem.
East Azerbaijan province. Alan Padri Barak, hello.
Hi Alan, welcome along to the stream. It's a while since I've seen you around here.
SK737,
We are we're just making a start on the flight request. I saw you made a flight request, Alan. 132.2.
HGF 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 HGF. Coders cost money.
Exactly, HDF. Yeah, that's right. That's the issue. To make a sim, the logic just isn't there. It wouldn't make any sense to them. If you said to a company who have made, you know, like a sim for sighted people, can you make a sim for us? They would say it's a waste of our time because not as many people are going to buy it, and we're going to be paying coders money to do something that that isn't going to earn us that money back. And plus the coders probably wouldn't know anything about accessibility, so you would have to explain all that to them.
Yeah, that's what I was asking.
And we're going to squawk again. Oh, come on, what's the squawk code? 7199. I'm sure the numbers on the transponder in a real aircraft only go up to 7. I might be wrong there, don't quote me on it, but I'm sure they only go up to 7. I'm sure I read that somewhere, but that could be wrong. I'm not sure.
Is that probably why they use 7700 as the emergency code?
Maybe. That could have been duff information though, I don't know.
SK737, you're leaving the airspace of our airport. Have a safe flight.
Turbulence.
How are we doing then? Yeah, we are approaching slowly.
Channel message from Marshall Desktop. I was RTR in the accessibility response you gave.
Yeah. Yeah, like I say, it's unfortunate. If I would love it to happen that you would go to a company like Lockheed who develop P3D and say, can we work together and collaborate and we'll make an accessible flight sim, but you've just got to be realistic about it. It's not going to happen. They would just laugh in your face. They would just, you know, it wouldn't work.
Yep.
Oh, we're fine. I hear you, Marshall, you're a bit quiet.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, oh, let me just do a fuel check. Yeah, we're good on fuel. Of course we are, we haven't got a fuel leak, surprise, surprise.
Set frequency.
And we've got a new frequency again. Has he? Well, he hasn't actually, because I'm the captain, but you know, let's put the seatbelts on still.
Hooger Kyar, okay. I like Apple's CEO Tim Cook, which said, we don't care about it how much it costed, or how much time it need. We want that all individuals could use our products.
Exactly, Hugo. That is a great approach, and if you find a company who will take that approach, then you've found a great place. If you find a company and they will say it doesn't matter how much resources we have to give over to this project, we will make things accessible no matter what for all users, then great. That's a great company. It's just in flight simulation, no matter how helpful certain individuals may be, it's still, like most things, money driven, and most people in the flight simulation community, if you ask them, would say no, we're not doing it. But if a big company like Apple has got, you know, that much money that they can throw money at it and help us in any way possible, then that's great. That's why I use Apple. You know, Apple for me is reliable. Of course it is, you know, because I've had an iPhone for years and there's never been a time where it's not been accessible. I can do what I need to do on it. It gets the job done all the time for me, and you know, it's always pretty much accessible to the point where I need it to be. 963, was it 35? I don't know. Yeah, it was.
Radar contact.
Radar contact.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have passed the storm.
Dogger Kyar, he said also, accessibility should be human right.
Yeah, it should. Yeah, exactly. You would hope that everything is accessible. You know, it's frustrating when you go onto a website and it doesn't work, and you know, you see all these people flying incredibly complex aircraft in simulators, you know, for example, and you think, oh, wouldn't it be great if I could fly that too? But you know, it's the way it is, unfortunately. But that would be wonderful if accessibility was a right and everything had to be accessible. Yeah. It would certainly make people pay attention, and I think we'd have a lot of angry people. But we would also have a lot of happy people if things were accessible.
Yeah, because I think I might have to get someone assigned to do maintenance on my Accusum Cessna 172, because if I don't break it, try and see if I can age it and see if I can keep it running for as long as possible. Whereas if I break it, then I've got to delete a load of files to reset it.
00737,
that's the
you are
A2A
leaving
system.
our designated airspace. Good day.
And that's the problem. People just don't think about accessibility, and it like you say, in an ideal world, if you could have everything you could want in a world, yes, it would be a right, and people would be forced to put it into things to make them accessible for us, yeah. But unfortunately, the way things are, you know, you do get people and developers who just don't think about it. It doesn't cross their mind at all, you know. For reasons, it can be because of money, because they know it's not going to make them as much money. It can just be because they don't know enough about it, and they just don't, you know, when making these sorts of things, they don't think about it at all. And then, you know, there are some things that it's about how far you go. I mean, you would never have, for example, at least with today's technology, a blind pilot in a real aircraft flying. That just would not happen. It's a line you could not cross, because you need sight. That's as simple as that. With the technology today, you need sight. So, you know, there are lines that you can't cross, that cannot be accessible.
Pressure control system failure.
Are you having a laugh? Pressure control system failure. Land immediately. No.
Can I have the emergency checklist, please, then?
Right, just a minute.
Mission control system failure. Land immediately.
Right.
Descend at -40.
121, is it 121.5?
121.5, yes.
Right. We're SOS here. This is fun, people. We're just going to perform a control landing in the middle of the Caspian Sea. Realism here. Okay. Here we go, people. Mayday, mayday. We've got a pressure control system failure. This is the first failure I've ever had.
Message from Marshall Desktop. Get the F in your seats.
Passengers, sit down now, or else you're going to die. How have we plummeted that much? What's going on?
I had luckily some good experience with big companies about accessibility. For example, I sent Twitter there some bugs and they solved the most of it.
Ah, we seem to be plummeting pretty fast.
Kill the speed.
I don't know how we're descending. Oh, I see, because it's turbo. God damn it. Right. Okay. It's helped us lose some altitude. Right. We're performing an emergency landing here.
Burik Yuksek, yet. Good enough for some air crash investigation.
Here we go. The pilot is going to have to perform an emergency landing.
Alex Williamson's adventures. Oh man, that is so not good.
I know. I've never had this happen and it has to happen on stream. Closest airport's 94 away. We're never going to make this. Right, we're landing in the middle of the sea. Prepare for a ditching. We're going down, people. Flaps, get your gear out. Oh, I can't believe this. I am sorry, Hugo. Your flight request is, I don't know. It's down to luck here. We just can't do it. Land, yeah. These failures aren't quite.
Channel message from Marshall Desktop.
Don't keep sending messages on that, Marshall. Because I am trying to land the aircraft so that we can at least not crash. Yeah, passengers, I know you're screaming. Shut the cockpit door, we're ignoring them. Otherwise we're all going to die. Yeah, here we go. Mayday, mayday. This is actually a mayday situation. This is one for the air crash investigation people.
Just check your frequency before you touch down and make sure it says SOS, because if it doesn't you're going to have to
yeah, it does, it does.
Do you want?
Right, bring the speed back. That'll do. Right, dive.
Haha, you are the best.
Come on, plane, we need to get down now. Literally, just dive. We've got all sorts of alarms going off. I'm diving the plane at a ridiculous rate because I've got to get down. Oh Christ. Alright, Airbus. We're dropping to about 3,000 feet, 1,000 metres. I've got to get us down, otherwise the time constraints. Alright, pressure control. I'm doing my best. Come on, plane, dive, dive, dive. Come on, we can make it. Come on, come on.
They're probably going to repair your plane in the ocean.
Yeah, they are. We're going to have a repair in the ocean. Realism right here. Right, let's pull up a bit. We're getting close to the ground. Come on.
Get your life jackets on.
Yep. Here we go, people. 300 feet above the sea. Life jackets on. We're ditching now. Get ready.
Alan Padre Barak. Call the Navy.
And we are down. Welcome to the Caspian Sea, everyone.
Slow down the aircraft. They should repair it once you get to a stop.
Oh, we've hit the water. I think have we crashed? Have we gone under? I think we might have crashed. I don't know. I just heard a water sound.
About Eurofly.
Well, we touched down. I got landing successful. but then we just heard a water sound. Okay. Yeah, that was fun. My first ever failure. Well, I mean, we got down, and I don't know what's going on with that. Because we got landing successful, then we got a crash. Black box. So what was the reason? What was the reason?
Cause of the accident. Collision with the Earth.
Collision with the Earth. Don't know why that was. I mean, we touched down fine and we got landing successful, and then I just did old
Alan
10.
Padre Barak, not a Hudson miracle.
No, it wasn't a Hudson miracle. So yeah, I don't know why it should have repaired our plane. Apparently.
Yurik Yuksek, bug right there.
Yeah.
Timer should stop once you touch down. Yurik Yuksek, because when I landed this way it teleported to nearest airport.
Yeah, that must be a bug. That's what it should do.
1300. R13/07/28 for situation mid flight. Left engine through. Right engine through.
Because everything was fine.
Pressure on. Weather radar on.
I think our time must have
now
run
though
out.
you might. I think now though. Last time I had a pressure failure, I landed it at an airport, and then I had to actually SOS land again because they didn't repair it, and I couldn't.
Alex Williamson's Adventures.
Oh.
I've got to say though, you kept your head pretty good in that situation.
Yeah, well, yeah, we landed it. I'm going to call that a landing. That was a Eurofly bug.
I think you ran out of time.
Yeah, I reckon that must have been it, Borak. Which is stupid, because we got landing successful. Like it said landing, and then we just heard a crash. But I'm going to call that a landing. Well, it wasn't a landing, it was a ditching. We've ditched the plane in the Caspian Sea due to a pressure failure, and that is us done. Yeah, Marshall says apparently they didn't repair it, so I'm going to have a look at...
you might have to SOS land again.
Oh, okay. I'll try it.
Because last time I took off and they just kept crashing, so I had to take off, level immediately, put the gear and everything down, switch frequencies and SOS landing.
Okay. Anyway, I think that's going to be the end of the stream. I can't be bothered to set up another flight, but anyway, you go. I will see what we can do about your flight request, but it was a bit of fun at the end of the day, and there you go. There's Eurofly
Isn't one per day a limit?
Yeah, I think there is a limit of 1 per day, but I don't know if it will have counted that as an SOS landing because it crashed before we properly did it. I don't know. I'm really not sure. I'm gonna have a look at it. But yeah, let me have a look. I reckon we were fine. I mean, oh, it says SOS 65. I don't know what that means, but that's what it says. Yeah, that's fine. Real frequency was 121.5. Let's have a look. We've got that down. We had a lot of fuel on board.
No, you can delete it, it's fine.
Alright, I'll get rid of it. Yeah, we kind of did your flight. We did some stuff around Turkey, and that was the result. We landed in the Caspian Sea. What fun. Airspeed was 240, so we were slowing down. Nose angle was 0, altitude was 0, so yeah, I'm going to call that a landing. Right, let's hope the Navy come out as soon as possible and rescue those 220 people who are probably floating in the Caspian Sea now after my expert landing. That's hilarious. I've never had that happen, and I've got about 500 hours in Eurofly. I've never had that happen in Eurofly 2 with a failure, but that's interesting, very interesting. But we got down. I'm going to call it a landing, and no, I don't want to save it. Well, there you go, a live demonstration of a water landing. So yeah, that's going to be the end of the stream, I think. We will continue on with the flight requests next stream. We'll continue on with them and get some of them done. Thanks everyone for joining. It's been a really fun stream. I've really enjoyed doing it. We got one flight done, and we were close to getting the second one done, but we ended up ditching. A bit of amusement there, and I'll see you in the next stream. So thank you all for coming along. It's been a great stream. We've had loads of people in the chat, and I hope I've all got you excited for Eurofly 3, and I'll see you in the next stream, hopefully maybe tomorrow, maybe Sunday. Hopefully I can get another one done before the weekend is over. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in